Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now we are in a different location and I thought that I should do a bookshelf tour. So that's what I'm going to do. I've got my little mini mic here because I'm going to be over at my bookshelf. Yeah, this is one of my bookshelves. This is my main one, I would say, because this used to be my bedroom. So I had my bed under this and then my dad built this like around my bed, kind of like Haley Pham's bookshelf. That's where I got my inspiration from. So this is my main bookshelf that has most of my books on it. And then I have my other IKEA one here. But I thought I'm going to give you a little tour. It's very unorganized. I need to really do a revamp, but I'm selling some books on Vinted right now. So once I've sold them, I'm going to do a revamp. So yeah, let's tour my bookshelves. So the first thing I will say actually is that I have a little chair. I don't actually know. You literally cannot see it. This is going to be insane. Okay. I have a little chair because I wanted a chair. So I'm going to just have to move that out of the way. If I can clip this onto my jumper. Okay. Because this is heavy. Ugh. Okay, so I'm going to start with my little corner right here because this is my fan corner. I am a fangirl to my core, so if I love it, there's going to be something of it in my room. So this is my fan corner. So we have here, it's so embarrassing. We have a picture of me and my sister when we met the wax figures of One Direction at Madame Tussauds. And then we have oh my god, and then we have my Zayn wristband when I saw him in concert. And then I have, oh my god, these cute little, my best friend made these cute little Stardew Valley like clay figurines. These were made for my birthday, so they're on here because I love Stardew Valley. We have my two Harry Styles books because I am a Harry Styles fan. So we've got My Policeman with him on the cover, and then Harry Styles, The Making of a Modern Man. I haven't read this and I will never read this, but I just have it because it's got Harry on the front. So, but you can't even see him. Above this, we have my Matthew Gray Goobler book, which is signed. Oh my god. Which is signed. I adore Matthew Gray Goobler, so I had to buy that, even though it's a kid's book. So that is a book that I also will never read. And then I've got like a little moon thing that is meant to light up, but I never put it on because I just forget. And then I have Matthew Perry's autobiography, which I do want to read at some point this year. It's been sat on my shelf for so long. But yeah. The next shelf over here, I have my little skull panda because although I do have Labubus, I prefer skull pandas. They're my fave. And then I've got a Harry sign that says Harry's Wall because me and my best friend went to Holmes Chapel and we did like a Harry Styles tour, and then they had a gift shop. So of course I had to buy something from the gift shop, and I brought a sign that says Harry's Wall because if you didn't know, Harry Styles has a wall in Holmes Chapel. It's not really his wall, but you know. And then up here we have some couple plants. We have a like a fake candle, that's the word. And then I've got a Harry Styles clock and guess my favourite celebrity. Then we have a little like a vinyl thing that my friend got me for my birthday that is Harry Styles Fine Line on it. So yeah, that's his corner. And then I have like a hanging plant. Oh, and I have books down here. I have the Filthy Rich Vampire series. I actually adored this series. I read this, I think 2020, I want to say 2024. I do want to say 2024. I loved it. I really did. So if you haven't read this series, it's such a fun, silly time. And I think there's Heather, she's reading Filthy Rich Fae at the moment and she seems to be loving it, so I might have to read that. Okay, so we are now at the big bookshelf. I am going to try and explain how this is organised because sometimes it doesn't even make sense in my head how it's organised. Anyway, so you've got up here, we've got my romance books all along here, and then it goes down here into my Ali Hazelwood shrine, and then I've just realised my Elsie Silvers are separated. I didn't realise that. Anyway, and then we've got like my like small town cowboy, and then Lila Sage just goes here, and then it starts to go to like fun. I don't. This isn't organised at all very well. And then I've got like fun fantasies, and then it goes into dark romance. Like I don't know why these are here, but we're gonna just leave them there for now. And then obviously it goes into dark romance, and then I've got my thrillers and some over there, and then it comes down into fantasy. Up here, we have got the beginning of my romance section. We've got Lauren Asher, what is this called? Dreamland Billionaire series, which I've read all of them. And then I've got my Megan Brandy, which I've read this one. And I don't know why I brought the second one because I didn't really enjoy this one, but I want to give it another chance when I'm in the mood for it. Same with this whole series. I didn't like Consider Me. I gave it a 2 stars, I'm pretty sure, because she kept talking about how small she was and he kept talking about how big he was. So I got a bit annoyed with that. But I brought the rest of the series because I've heard the last one is really good. I've heard the last one's really good. So I was like, okay, if I'm in the mood for a fun, silly time, then I'll read that series. And then I've got, see, again, this isn't organised. I've got more Lauren Asher, which should be with Lauren Asher, but I don't care apparently. So this is the Lakefront Billionaire series, which I've read both of these, and then there is a third one, but I don't want to read it because I'm not as much of a contemporary romance reader anymore. Like when I first started reading, I was really into it, but now I just don't care because a lot of the time, especially Lauren Asher's books, they're big for no reason. Like there isn't a world which a romance book should be over 450 pages, and her books are over probably 500. So that's those. And then I am going to get to an author who has big books as well, but there is reason. And then I have Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. I love this book. This was a 6-star book of last year. I adored it so much. And if you haven't read it, you need to. I don't think I'm going to read her other books because, like I said, not in the contemporary mood anymore. But I loved this one. And then I have Mariana Zapata. I have not read the Mariana Zapata. Oh my god, Mariana Zapata book, but I think I'm gonna love it. Like I really do think I'm gonna love her, and I feel like these books are big, yes, but I've heard she is the queen of slow burn, so I feel like that gives it a good enough reason to be big because you have all that time of nothing happening that when it gets to page 700 and you're like, and they hold hands, you're like, do you know what I mean? And then I've got my Emily Wraith books. I adore this woman so much. Looking around, I read for the first time, I want to say in 2024, and then I DNF'd it at like 70%. I know, crazy. But I wasn't like, at that time, I hadn't read any like Why Chooses, I hadn't read Dark Romance. So this was very like confusing to me. I didn't get it. I didn't like it. And then I read it again last year and I loved it. I cried at the end. And then Pucking Wild is my favourite out of the two so far. And then Pucking Sweet and Pucking Strong I want to read this year, obviously. And then we have Liz Tomfordy, who I adore. I actually met her and I love her so much. And I did the most British thing ever when I met her. I spoke to her about the weather. So, but I got nervous. I love her. So we've got the Windy City series, which is the best sports romance series ever. A lot of people don't like Mile High. I loved Mile High. I did. I don't know why everybody just likes it. I guess because Xander's is very like, I don't know, he was like an F boy before, but he's not anymore. He's not anymore. So yeah, I love this series, but Caught Up is my favourite. Very closely. Hmm. Hmm. Caught Up. Caught Up. It's between these two. Right, Move and Play Along, and then Rewind It Back and Mile High. But I still loved every single one of them. So read that series if you haven't. And then we have up here the Eden series by Daphne Perry. I know a lot of people now know Daphne Perry from Shield of Sparrows, but this is her small town romance series that she had before the Edens. I love this series. I've still got books 5 and 6 left, but all of these 4, I love them. They are really small, easy, fun, silly time romances. I love them. And then in the first one specifically, there's a mystery plot sort of like buried in there. So that was really fun and interesting, and I just love how she writes. So yeah, if you've read Shield of Sparrows and liked her writing, go and read The Edens. First book is Indigo Ridge. And then we have my Elsie Silver, who I adore, although I still haven't read Hopeless. Don't know if I will read Hopeless, but I haven't heard the best things about it, and I wasn't too fussed about Beau. But my favourites, Heartless and Reckless, of course, my faves, Cade and Theo. Love them. And then on top of that, I've got a little cowboy boot. I've got a cute little cowboy boot, and then another of the candles. And then next to that, I've got my Emma Lucy books, who I love and adore, and I got obviously my arc of Riding the Line, which I got at Bookfest. That one of the only good things to come out of Bookfest. And then I've got First Time Caller and the favourites, and then this is where I lose it because it goes across here to Daisy Jones and the Six, Wild Dark Shore, and then Ice Hockey Romances. I don't know why I've done that, but I've done that. So I've got Beautiful Storm and Delicate Storm, which are 2 indie books that I didn't know existed until I went into Saucy Books in London, and I brought them because they looked fun, and one of them is a single dad, so I was like, ooh, I will take that. And then I've got Unsteady and Unloved. I loved Unsteady, so this year I need to read Unloved because I just love Peyton Corinne. So yeah, that's shelf 1, and then that follows it down to the corner, which I will go back to. Okay, so in this corner, hidden by the plants, I'm not going to get them out because the plants will fall, but I have all of my Ali Hazelwood books. So I've got Not in Love, Love Theoretically, Love on the Brain, Problematic Summer Romance, Love Hypothesis. I've got this edition of the Love Hypothesis. Okay, so for some reason my mic completely stopped working, so now I have to record a voiceover. Oh my god, I can't believe this is happening to me. Anyway, so this is all my Ali Hazelwood books, and then I show the special editions I have. So I have Bride and Mate special editions, which match. They're from the works, they're purple, and I love them. And then I have the normal edition of Mate as well, and the Illumicrate edition of Mate, which I love. The sprayed edges are really sick, and the end papers as well. I love them. I do love them. And then the next ones are my Elsie Silver books, which have been separated, which these is the Rose Hill series. Wild Side is probably my favourite. I know a lot of people don't like that and the first one, but I love Wild Side because it's based on wrestling, and I had a wrestler's phase when I was younger. Then I have Lila Sage's Small Town Romance Rebel Blue Ranch, and then her soul searching book, which I loved so much. Then I've got Assistant to the Villain, which is a fun, silly little time, and I love it. So I'm excited for book 4. I just got a rant about this for so long, I don't know why. And then I have Caraval, because I've read Once Upon a Broken Heart, didn't love it, so I'm going to try and go back and read Caraval first and then carry on with the series. Then Bryn Weaver's Scythe and Sparrow. No, Butcher and Blackbird. Butcher and Blackbird was my favourite. Then I have the Bonded by Thorns. I can't remember what the series is called, but I think it's a White Shoes. So I have the first 2 of that because they were in the works. And I need to get the other 2 whenever they come into the works. And then it goes on to more darker romance. So I've got my Caught Up and Lights Out by Nevessa Allen, and Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas, which I loved. It's my only Penelope Douglas book, but I really did enjoy it. I don't think I'm going to read another one because I like that too much. And then I have Wolf and Dove. Dove is an arc that I received from Evermore. Love you, thank you Evermore. And I love this book so much. It was a 5 star, so if you haven't read it, read it. But check trigger warnings and things like that because it is a dark romance. And then I have Dolls and Daggers, which is a gift from my bestie Rachel for my Christmas present this year. I think it was Christmas. And it's another dark romance. It's been on my TBR forever. So I finally got the physical version. And then I have A Dark Shade of Magic and Red Rising, which were both charity shop finds. So the edges aren't the prettiest, but I do really want to get to these books this year. Then I have Belladonna series, which is a main priority for me this year, 100%. I believe it's a YA series, but I've been hearing such good things about it, so it's on my list for this year. Then I have Hidden Pictures by Jason Reculak, I think it is, and I actually DNF that, but I am going to go back to it. Then I have this little ghost. Okay, I love this ghost. His name is Edmund, and he has a whole thing, which I'm going to get now. He comes with a whole back line from the Cambridge Ghost Company, and you just go in there and see which ghost is speaking to you and go and buy it. So I got Edmund, and he is a cute little scribe, and I love him, and he looks after all my thriller books. So yeah, that's the story that he comes with, and he's really cute. So if you find yourself in Cambridge, go to the Cambridge Ghost Company. So I do start to talk about my thrillers here, about my Stephen King books. However, this is when I finally realise that my microphone is no longer on. So this is me figuring that out. Yep, there I go. Okay, back to old me now. I think my mic has been off this entire time. Anyway, we're at my thrillers. And then I've got Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drews because Kendall read this in a YouTube video, so I brought it because I am easily influenced and I've heard really good things. And then I've obviously got Riley Sager, who I also want to read this year, and then T. Kingfisher, and then 2 Megan Lally books. I've read That's Not My Name. I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it, what did I give it? Like 3.5, maybe a 4. I really enjoyed it. It's a young adult thriller, and it was really good. And then my favourite book, I need to get this out because this is my favourite book of all time. Okay, I had a bit of a rejig. Brother by Ania Albon. This is also a Kindle recommendation, and I can't remember what I did, but I think I messaged her and was like, I'm going to read this, and she was like, read it. So I love this book. This is 6 stars, and it's a thriller. I adored it so much. I did not know what was going to happen because it was one of the first thrillers I've read. And I don't know if it's like thriller horror. I think it's both. But definitely read this. It is about a family, and it's mainly about like 2 brothers, I guess. Sometimes I question why I do this. But yeah, it's about 2 brothers. One of them is bad, one of them is good. That's that. Brother, Ania Albon, read it. Put it in your cart from wherever you buy your books. I would recommend to, even if my friends don't read, I would recommend that book to them. Edmund Fell. Oh my god. That was terrifying. I actually need to breathe a minute. That was absolutely terrifying. Okay, I've zoomed in again to try and get better angles. I hope this is okay. Okay. So in the corner here, I got this side. In the corner here, we have my T. Kingfisher books. So Paladin's Grace, Paladin's Strength, Paladin's Faith, Paladin's Hope. And I've only read Paladin's Grace and I gave it 5 stars because it was just such a cozy fantasy and I really adored it. Adored it? I actually can't talk. I really adored it. And I am reading Paladin's Strength still. I have been reading it for like 5 months now, but I'm just not in the mood for it. I'm in the mood for it. And then I have Sorceress Comes to Call by T. Kingfisher. And then I have my faves. These are some of my faves. So I've got Phantasma and Enchantra. I love these books. I think about them all the time. And when Seven's book comes out, I'm gonna freak, I think, because I love him. And then I've got Nightshade, and I have got the coveted Works edition with the most amazing sprayed edges of Alex and Ophelia. I love this book, and nothing's going to take that from me. Ever. Then I've got the normal edition of Nightshade. And then I've got Amber V. Nicole's books, the Book of Azrael series. I adore these books, and I have been putting off reading the 4th book until I get the paperback because all of these ones are like Priest and I want it to match. So that's that. And then I've got Servant of Earth by Sarah Hawley, who I think it's Emily Fun, Fun Books, recommends this very highly. So I bought it because of her. As you can see, I am easily influenced. And then Leigh Bardugo. This influence is from Heather and about Ninth House and Hellbent, and then The Familiar, because I thought, why not? And then I've got The Scarlet Veil by Shelby Mahurin. This is a YA fantasy, I believe, about vampires. So it's been on my TBR forever, and this was another Christmas gift from Bestie Rachel. Love you, Rachel. And then I've got my 2 Olivia Blake paperbacks. So I've got Masters of Death and the Atlas 6. Masters of Death is on my immediate TBR this year. It's on my 26 for 2026 because it's about vampires. And then I have Immortal Dark, once again, vampires. See a theme. This is my, oh, sorry, I didn't say, this is my fantasy shelf now. As you can tell by the colours of the books. So then I've got, Immortal Dark. Then I've got my 2 Runix books, Gothicana and Enigma. I haven't read these either. I've not heard the best things, so I'm terrified. Then I have got my Melissa K. Warwick books, so the Lady of Darkness series, because I have... Is it Blood and Steel? No. Reign of Shadows and Endings. But everyone, not everyone, but many people have said to read this one first. So I'm going to read this one first. This might be my next read. I'm very tempted. Currently reading City of Bones. And this might be next if I don't get obsessed with City of Bones. And then we have One Dark Window, Rachel Gillig, which I'm terrified to read it once again, but I loved The Night and the Moth and I loved her writing, so I got One Dark Window and I just need 2 Tears of Clarence and then I'm going to read it because obviously it's a duology, so I want to have them back to back and then read them. Then I've got Kingdom of the Wicked. I did have this whole series and then I unhauled it and then I brought this one again because I was convinced to read it. So yeah, it does not take me a lot to get me to read a book, honestly, or at least buy it. And then I've got The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Been on a journey with this book. I've had this book since I started reading again back in 2020. when did I start reading in 2024? Yeah, 2024. And I have tried to read this book like 3 times, and I've just never gotten past like chapter 6, I think it is. But I really want to read it. I do really want to read it. I think I'm really going to enjoy it. It's just terrifying to me. It's terrifying. And then I have the Jasad Air by Sarah Hashem, which I'm also terrified to read because I've heard very good things and then not very good things about the second book. But I need to not let that put me off this year, because else none of these books are going to be getting read. I have a little bookshop thing that is meant to have a light in it, but it currently doesn't. But this is my little bookshop that I got as a Christmas present from my parents. And me and my dad sat there and made it. It took 4 hours, but we made it, and now it's on my bookshelf. It's meant to have a light, but it doesn't seem to be working. And then over. And then we have a little stack of books. So I've got the Six of Crows duology, which I'm also terrified to read, but people have convinced me. Heather, again, Kendall, everyone's convinced me. And then I've got In the Veins of the Drowning by Kaylee Cassidy, Fear the Flames, Olivia Rose Darling. This was a Rachel recommendation. And then The Road of Bones, because I haven't seen a lot about this, but recently I've been seeing quite a bit, because I think the new one is like about to come out, I'm pretty sure. So I picked it up because I thought, why not? Why not spend more money on books I'm not going to read for a long time? And then I've got A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson, which I'm terrified to read once again. What a surprise. And then I have got an arc of The Wicked Lies of Hebron Fair. I think that's how you say it. And I got this at Bookfest as well. So that's a cute little book. And then I've got Tales of a Monstrous Heart by Jennifer Delaney. And then this chonker of a book, Alchemized by Sen Lin. I brought this over Vinted because I wanted the paperback and I wanted the sprayed edges. So I brought this. I'm also terrified to read this. I don't know if I ever will, if I'm completely honest. I really don't know. But that's that. And then here I have the House of Devils series by Kayla Edwards. And I've read books 1 and 2. This is the indie book, and then they released them, so I only brought the 3 because I didn't need to tell that one. And then I have A Soul to Keep by Opal Rain. This is a Laura recommendation, actually, because she adores this series. I picked that up in the Bad Girls book pop-up that Starling did in London. So yeah, that's that shelf. That's my big shelf. And then we're going to go down to my little IKEA shelf underneath. Okie dokie. So we are now at my little shelf on the floor that I needed. So up the top we have the entire Cassandra Clare world, even including Swordcatcher. And I have not read a single book. As I said, I'm on City of Bones. But did I buy all of these? Yes. Did I buy all of them secondhand? Also yes. So technically it's not that bad. But I really do think I'm going to enjoy this series because I watched the TV show on Netflix when I was 15, I think. And I loved it. I still think about it daily, but obviously now I'm reading it, I think about it more daily. So, my Cassandra Clare. We've got I am doing the reading order that Emmy was doing, or is doing. So I've got the 3 Mortal Instruments, obviously City of Bones is on my desk, and then Infernal Devices, the trilogy, and then the other 3 Mortal Instruments, and then the Red Scrolls of Magic, Bane Chronicles, Ghost of the Shadow Market, and Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. And then I think I am actually missing a book. I'm missing is it The Lost Book of the White? That's the one I'm missing because I could not find it literally anywhere. apart from Amazon. So I literally go in every charity shop to try and find it, and I can never find it. So if anyone's selling it, it isn't the hardback, because I look on Vinted and it's all the hardbacks. I don't want the hardbacks. And then I've got the Dark Art of Vices trilogy, and then the, what is this one called? The Last Hours trilogy. And these ones I do have the hardbacks because I found book 3 in 66 books, and they're the collector's editions. So I brought the other 2 on Vinted to match book 3. And then I've also got Swordcatcher, and then I've also got Half His Age by Jeanette McCurdy, because I didn't have anywhere else to put it. Down here I have got the, what is this called? Crowns of Nyaxia series by Carissa Broadbent. I read these 2, loved them. I loved this one. The novella was so good. I would read a whole book on these 2. I have been reading this, Ashes and Starcursed King, 4 months. 4 months. Probably since, I want to say like August last year, because I was looking for the hardback of this, because for some reason the hardback of this just does not exist anywhere. So when I found it, I bought it, and I haven't read it. And then I have Silver Elite. Oh, I also have the Slaying the Vampire Conqueror. But, and then I've, oh my god, why do things keep making noises? And then I've got Silver Elite by Danny Francis. This was another Rachel recommendation, one of her favourite books, so I brought it. And then Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry, obviously my fave, love her. Night in the Moth, favourite book of last year. And The Wolf King, and I need to get The Night Prince, because that's just come out, I'm pretty sure. So I need to get that. And then I have the 2 first books of Zodiac Academy in the original editions, but these are so expensive. They are so expensive, so I only bought the first 2, because I've now DNF'd the series. So I only bought the first 2. I think I want to get book 3, because book 3 was my favourite, so I feel like that makes sense. But they are so expensive. They're like over £15 each for a paperback. So and this one itself, I bought this one in a shop. This one was $21.99. You kidding? And then following that, I have more indie books. So I have the Tongue So Sweet and Deadly by Sophie St. Germain series, because that has now just been, I literally think today or next week, it's being traditionally published. So I brought these a while ago to make sure I had all of them in the indie editions. And then I've got the, this is Legends of Thesmar series or Ashes? Legends of Thesmar series by Helen Shearer. Blood and Steel is the first book. I'm terrified to read this because recently I've not heard the best things. I've heard good things about this one, but it just gets worse apparently as the books go on. But I'm going to try and not let that cloud my judgment again. And then down here at the bottom, I have some just like paperbacks that they're obviously hidden by my chair because I don't want these on display. But I've got Sophie Lark's books. I don't know what to do with them because I've written in them, so I can't really do anything about them. And then I've got When the Moon Hatched, and then The Wingman, because I do want to read this series, but this is like the 3rd book or something. So, and they don't have any of the other books in the works. So I think they're on Kindle Unlimited though, so I'm going to read them on there. And then When the Moon Hatched I don't mind having out, but I just don't have anywhere else to put it. And then I've got Happy Place by Emily Henry, very out place. Very out place. She does not go here, but I have her because she was in a free library. So I took her. I have never read an Emily Henry book in my life. And then I have Immortal Consequences by Ivy Marie. Once again, this is the Waterstones edition, which is stunning, by the way. It is so pretty, but I've not heard the best things. Can people stop saying bad things about books? Because it just puts me off. It really does. And then I've got Silver Cloak, Fate, Fortune, Fire, and Arcana Academy. These are all signed because I met these 2 authors. Was it these 2? Yeah. These 2 in Bookfest in London. And then Bestie Rachel went to Elise Cover's event and got this signed for me. And then I have, this is very like popular at the moment, I feel. I have Bloodbound Arc by Ellis Hunter, which is 2 authors. And this is coming out in May 2026. And it says, you cannot forfeit, you cannot run, you duel, or you die. Bloodbound. This is getting a lot of hype at the moment, so I need to read this soon before it comes out because I'm very excited. And then I've got, I don't know if you, I think you can see, I've got Air of Illusion because, oh my god, this edition, guys. This is like the original edition. It has her on the front, the Wraith, and then it has him on the back, the Reaper. It is such a stunning edition, and it's the regular, and then it's got art on the front pages as well. So good. Need to read that this year. And then I've got the Crimson Moth and Rebel Witch. I've read the Crimson Moth. I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't see the hype. So I don't really want to read the Rebel Witch, but I'm going to give it a go because it is just a duology. So I may as well read it. And then Iron Embers and Thorns of Fire. And then Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. And if we come over to this little bookshelf, we have got some more. So we have got the Reign of Shadows and Ending series up here by Melissa K. Warwick. This is another one of my top for this year. I think I'm really going to enjoy this. So it is on my priority, which is why I want to read Lady of Darkness like ASAP, because I want to read this entire series. And I've, of course, brought the indie editions. And then this is like quite full. Like, okay. And then I've got Olivia Blake Girl Dinner, Olivia Blake the like trade paperback for One for My Enemy, The Compound, To Bleed a Crystal Broom, To Bleed a Crystal Bloom, and then Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, and Onyx Storm. I'm not a huge lover of these, but I appreciate them because this is one of the first fantasy books I ever read, getting back into reading. So I will always adore this series and what it did for me, but I'm not a lover of this book. And then down here we have Crescent City books. So House of Earth and Blood, House of Sky and Breath, and House of Flame and Shadow. This is obviously another series I want to get done this year because I have read her other series, so I feel like I need to get this series, and I got all of these secondhand as well. I love vintage. Okay, so we are now in my bedroom and we are at my big bookshelf. I have always wanted one of these tall standing bookshelves. I just think they look so pretty. So we are here, and this is probably mostly my favourite books. Like these top 4 shelves are some of my favourites, and then the bottom one is pretty books, and then the other one is like I didn't know where else to put them and I want to keep the series together. So let's talk through this. So the first series we have is the DC SARS series by Chelsea Curto. First book is Face Off. I adored this series so much. They're really quick and easy, and they're also just like fun. And they also do talk about some like heavy topics, but it's done so well, and it's just perfect. So you can see this one. She is also a hockey player on the men's team, and that was so cool. But I will show you my favourite out of the series. My favourite in the series was the second book, Power Play. This is Liam Sullivan and Piper. I love these two so much. He is obviously the hockey player and she is the like reporter. I love these two so much. Liam is like typical grump. Love him. Love him so much. Sticking on the hockey train, we have, of course, Heated Rivalry by Rachel Reed. I honestly, okay, when this first started getting traction, I tried to read it and read the prologue and was like, this isn't for me. This is not for me. However, I then watched the show. The show was so good. I adored the show. So I was like, okay, I need to know what happens to these characters now that like the show's over. So I read Heated Rivalry, and then I went into the long game. Favorite, favorite ever. I really want to read the rest of the Game Changers series, but I just have so many others right now that I can't do that. So, but I will eventually read them, and I am now going with Bestie Lewis to a Rachel Reed talk that she's doing in London. So I'm really excited for that and to hear her hopefully talk about Unrivaled. I'm so excited. But yeah, so we've got Heated Rivalry in the long game. And then next to that is the Boys of Tommen series. I love this series. This is this is the only thing I'm gonna say at this bookshelf. I love this series. I adore this series. I think about these people like they are real and they are my best friends. I love them so bad. But yeah, that's Boys of Tommen, and I don't want to talk about the TV show adaptation. I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, moving on. Then we have my first and my favourite dark romance, Wanting Out of Line. I, once again, love this. This was the proper first dark romance I read, and Zaid Meadows stays my top book boyfriend. Forever. I love him. I really truly do. Okay, so on the next row down, we have probably one of my favourite books. I would say this is one of, like, up there with one of my top 10 books. Fairytale by Veronica Lancet. This is the indie version, and then I also have the traditionally published version. It's huge. Like, it's huge, but I love this. So I literally saw it in my Waterstones and cried. I thought this book is it historical? It's like gothic romance set in 1955. I loved it. Twists and turns. Every single one of these pages is annotated with my thoughts, my feelings. I just love this book. This has so much, like, this means so much to me. And then I have a cute little, like, thing from the range that holds my, I don't even know what they're called. Are they bulldog clips? I don't know. Anyway, then I have some more favourites. I've got Anathema and Eldritch and then Nocticadia, all by Carrie Lake. I love Carrie Lake. I read Anathema last month. It's already my book of the year. Nothing is going to top that for this year. But I do need to read Eldritch, like, ASAP. But I feel like I need to wait until the next one is out, because apparently this is very character driven. Not much on the plot happens, but this is about mainly about our main male character, which I do love. So I'm excited to know his backstory a little bit more. Nocticadia. I always get giddy talking about Nocticadia. Deverick Bramwell. I love also the, like, the storyline of all of Carrie Lake's books. Like, they're gothic, they're romance, they've got a bit of horror elements in them. I just eat them up every single time. And the way she does her characters as well, like, they feel like real people. And I love that. I love them. And then this special edition here is Her Soul to Take by Harley LaRue. This was a present by Bestie Rachel again for my birthday. And at the time, I hadn't actually read it, but I've read it and I loved it. So thank goodness for that. But yeah, this is Her Soul to Take, Demon, Re-Trigger Warnings, Dark Romance, Adore. Adore Leon. Bless his soul. Then we have the Edge of Darkness trilogy by Lee Rivers. I adore these. If you are going to read these, which you should, please read the trigger warnings. It is very dark, but it's beautifully written, and it's done in such a, I don't know, it's done in such a, like, a sensitive way and it's just amazing and perfect and beautiful. I love her. Then we have also Psychotic Obsession, which is Cade's dad, Tobias. Love him. And then we've got obviously Riftborn, Dustbound, and The Ascended. I talked about them in my wrap up. I loved all of these, so if you haven't read them, read them. And then we get to my shrine shelf. This is my shrine shelf. Now, of all time, Powerless is my favourite series. Controversial opinion, but the feelings and the emotions and the reading experience I had with this series will just always stick with me. So, I have the Powerless Waterstones special edition that they've done recently. I love it. It's got straight edges. I don't know why I'm holding this so weirdly. And then I have all of the like normal hardbacks, but our ones come with reversible just jackets that have got art on them all. So my favourites, Mac and Adina. Guys, I love them. And then I have a little Kai Azar, because I know I said Zaid is my number one, but he is really my number one. But I have my little, is it a Funko Pop? Pop. Still got the box. So pop figurine of Kai Azar. They do have a paid one as well, which I will get, but for now I just have him. And then I have the paperbacks, which these are annotated, kind of. Are these annotated? I feel like I annotated maybe this one, Fearless. And then I just brought the Fearless paperback because it's just come out. And then I just need the Fearful paperback. And then I have Sparkly Everflame series, so this is where I'm sitting it for now, which is a big deal. It's a big deal. But yeah, I adore Sparkly Everflame. For some reason, I edited the entire reading log of this and it just won't save, so I have to go through and edit it all again. But I am going to do that because I do want to get this reading vlog up. Okay, so we are now at the bottom shelves. So here we have my diabound editions. I don't know why I have so many, but I've got the Waterstones edition, the trade paperback, which I found in the airport, and then the ARC, which I got from Bookfest. Thank you, Wayward, I love you. And then I've got Quicksilver, so I've got the original edition, and then the traditionally published with the sprayed edges, as well as Brimstone with the matching sprayed edges. And then I have Heavenly Bodies and Fallen Stars, and then the Waterstones exclusive edition of Fallen Stars. I also adore this series, obviously. I love Money Ryu, and if you haven't read the series, read it. And then down here we have a author who has a lot of books that I don't know where else to put them. So we've got all of my Thread of Glass. So I've got the first two in the black covers, which I originally had, and then I decided, I'm not going to read this series, and then I wanted to read it, so I read it. And then they came out with the ugly neon edges, so I did want them. So I got the hardbacks of the entire series, and then I've also got Agatha, and then with a little cereal that sat on top of it. Okay, I'm going to sit out of frame so you can actually see all of them, but I've got all my like special editions with pretty sprayed edges. So I've got the Twilight edition that has the "and so the lion fell in love with the lamb" quote on the side. This is from, I think it's a 20th anniversary edition. And then I've got all my fairy loots. So Monster of Mine, Warrior Princess Assassin, I think this one is. Yeah, Warrior Princess Assassin. Look how pretty that is. And then I've got Metal Slinger. What was this one? Cage Wild Bird. Stornin. And then we have We Who Will Die, King of Ravens. This is a Lumacrate, I think. Second of the block. Pretty sure it's a Lumacrate, yeah. I had the subscription for a month, and this is the book I got, so I cancelled it. I was like, nothing is better than this. I've got a second of the vlog, and then this is my, when I first started like collecting special editions, I had the Smut and Sip membership, which I regret cancelling now because obviously they did the Nightshade edition, which is stunning. But I have 2 books from there. So I have Phantasm, and then this huge one. This is huge. This is Atonement of the Spine Cleaver, which looks sick. Like, it looks so cool, and that's the edge. And then the edge of Phantasm. It's that. And then this comes with art. I don't know if you can see it. It's like tucked in there because it's not safe for work. It's really not. So I have those, and then I have my Waterstones exclusive editions. So I've got the Stephanie Garber Alchemy of Secrets. I believe this is signed. This is signed by Stephanie. Because I went to a event and I have a little like bookmark thing. So yeah, that's that one. And then this is Olivia Blake, One for My Enemy. Again, have I read an Olivia Blake book? Nope. Do I have 2 copies of the same book? Yep. And then this is Wild's Reverence, Rebecca Ross. And this one is Gifted and Talented by Olivia Blake. These need to go next to each other. I've been meaning to do this. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's my bookshelves. I know it was probably a little bit chaotic. I have no order to my life whatsoever, so my bookshelves reflect that. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing into my bookshelves. And I've been thinking while I've been doing this, do I want to unhaul any of these books? There's no books that I would unhaul, which is wonderful. But I haven't read most of them, so I don't know yet. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I will see you guys in the next one. Okay, love you, bye.